The personal representative in the Florida probate process has a lot of responsibility. Keep watching to learn about the role, responsibilities, and duties of the Florida personal representative. As you may well know, the probate process is the legal process, the court proceeding whereby someone who has passed away, called a decedent, where their property, where their assets get distributed according to a will and according to state law. The personal representative to an estate is assigned by the court. They get something called letters testamentary. These are the official documentation that imbues them with the powers of an estate personal representative. Being the personal representative to a Florida estate is a big responsibility. After all, you're responsible for managing the entire probate process, the entire estate settlement process from beginning to end. Now, you will be doing that in conjunction with the probate attorney, but truth be told, probate attorney handles only the legal issues. About 20% of the things that have to get done during the probate process, so that 80% that the probate attorney does not handle falls completely on the shoulders of the personal representative of the estate. Personal representative is responsible for collecting and managing all of the estate's assets. They're responsible for paying off all the debts and taxes owed by the decedent. After all of the estate's debts have been paid off, after all of the creditor claims have been settled, now the personal representative is responsible for distributing the remaining assets to beneficiaries and heirs. Some of the qualifications for being a personal representative in Florida: first, you have to be of age. You have to be at least 18 years of age. You have to be of sound mind. You can't have any mental infirmities. You cannot be a convicted felon. You must be a U.S. citizen. By the way, it can be any person. So relatives of the decedent are typically, but not always and not necessarily, the personal representatives of an estate. If no fitting personal representative can be found, sometimes the court will appoint what's called an administrator, which fills the personal representative role. And corporate entities can even be personal representatives. So certain banks, certain trusts may be personal representatives in the state of Florida. Some of the duties of a personal representative include tracking down all of the documents: death certificate, financial statements, bank statements, deeds to property, vehicle registrations. All of the assets need to be tracked down and accounted for and valued, and that all falls on the shoulders of the estate's personal representative. Properly notifying creditors according to state law rules and also settling claims with the creditors is the responsibility of the personal representative. Resolving disputes among heirs, beneficiaries, and creditors is a big part of the personal representative job, and don't fool yourself into thinking that such disputes are uncommon, because they're in fact quite common. Now, once everything has been settled at the end, now whatever's left that gets distributed to beneficiaries and heirs, that all has to be accounted for, and that too is part of the personal representative's role, ultimately leading to the settlement, the closing of the probate case. We do have detailed videos on all of these topics, so be sure to check them out. Being a personal representative to an estate carries heavy legal obligations. You are fiduciary to the estate. That means every act you take must be in the best interest of the estate. Certainly not for yourself, certainly not for any particular beneficiary. You have a legal responsibility to the estate and only to the estate. And there are liability risks to the personal representative for failing to carry out their duties, including and up to criminal penalties. Some common challenges of personal representatives to an estate include tracking down all of the assets, documenting all of the assets, valuing all of the assets, being the intermediary when it comes to disputes between Heirs and beneficiaries, I want that. No, I want that. No, you get this. No, I don't want that. What happens if the estate includes an ongoing business? Personal representative is responsible for managing that business. What happens if the estate has real estate holdings? Then the personal representative is responsible for managing those real estate holdings. Now, of course, they may hire business managers, they may hire property managers, but ultimately the responsibility falls 100% on the estate's personal representative. If there happens to be real estate involved, it's often a best practice for the personal representative to hire what's called a probate real estate specialist. Now, a probate real estate specialist is a real estate broker who has specialized training dealing with probate properties. In addition to just helping with the sale of any real estate that may be required, they actually have deep roots in the community and can help coordinate and schedule all of the activities necessary to managing that property, repairing that property, maintaining that property. As you can see, if there's businesses involved, if this was a wealthy individual, if there's complex real estate holdings, then there's complex financial situations to be dealt with, sometimes above and beyond the skill sets of the personal representative, in which case it is the responsibility of the personal representative to locate and hire competent financial advisors, CPAs, other financial advisors, and such. Some key attributes that make for a successful personal representative include someone who is organized and detail-oriented, because bookkeeping is a big part of the role. Also, someone who is a good communicator, someone who is able to juggle all of the personal relationships between heirs and beneficiaries and creditors and outside advisors. And above all, someone who remains transparent and honest throughout the probate settlement process. For more tips and insights, download our free report. It's titled The 12 Biggest Mistakes That Florida Personal Representatives Make That Can Cost Their Estate Thousands. You can find that at www.floridaprobateMadeSimple.com. That's www.floridaprobateMadeSimple.com. For more videos on probate, estate planning, and related topics, subscribe to our channel. New videos are published weekly. And of course, be sure to watch our next video.